the rim!
Oh! Almost! Boy, that was close.
Hey, what's up for today, Nettie?
Hey, and welcome back to another Timelost Tower Defense devlog. It's been a while since I've made one, so I got a whole bunch of really cool stuff to talk to you guys about. And we released our trailer, we released the demo, as well as a whole bunch of other big features that I implemented over the last few weeks. Also started up in a new airplane, so that's also super cool. So let's get you guys all caught up. So the first big thing I fixed over the last few weeks is that the bomber elected that normal physics just isn't for it. You know, sometimes you just gotta drop bombs in the most illogical fashion possible.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
So I went ahead and fixed that so the bombs kind of follow the trajectory of the aircraft when they fall. So it turned out pretty good and the bomber feels a lot better. Next up, if you're a true gamer and you've seen our trailer on YouTube, then you know that I've been working pretty hard at getting all these different terrains set up for the different eras. It gives it a really cool feel. My favorite, of course, which is the dinosaur levels, which turned out really, really nice.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
So this next part might be my favorite feature that I've implemented so far over the last few weeks, and that's the level selector. So as you can see, when you click on a level, it pops up and lets you choose what character you're playing, shows you a picture of the map, and lets you hit play. Now, coming up, which I'm going to show you later on in this devlog, I'm going to work on implementing different waves over here so you know which enemies you're going to face during the level so you can properly build your turrets to defeat them.
Here's the plan. In the dead of night, you and I grab some provisions, hijack one of those longboats, and then we row back to Spain like there's no mañana.
Back to Spain, yeah?
Yeah.
In a rowboat.
You got it.
Great. Sensational. And that's your plan, is it?
That's pretty much it.
Well, I like it.
Now, also over here on the left, I'm going to have a picture of the character that shows all their abilities to remove any confusion there as to what your hero does. So as Alex mentioned last week on his devlog, we've been working towards putting out a demo, and if you're still interested in that demo, let us know. We'll try and get you a copy. So a big part of that was getting in all the sound effects, and adjusting all the volumes on the fly individually would have been an absolute nightmare. So I worked on using audio groups and the audio mixer in Unity to make that all run smoothly. So it took a bit of work, a bit of tutorials, but I managed to get it working great so that you can just slide up and down and change all the tower's volumes, all the player volumes, etc. And as you can hear from these last few clips, it turned out pretty great.
I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
Now, one problem we ran into in working with the audio mixer was that it works in decibels, which caused us some problems. So we had to do some nerdy math stuff.
Boom! 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3, quick maths.
You see, decibels go like this. So when our little slider was all the way up, it was at the normal max volume. But if we moved it to like a quarter of the way down, we'd be like right here on the chart, so you almost couldn't hear it. So our sliders were next to worthless. So I had to do some fancy math stuff to make it into a linear formula so that our slider looked more like this. Or if I could draw a straight line, like this.
Look at this graph.
For this next feature, I drew inspiration from ancient knowledge. If you see little map, you fight good. You see big map, you fight real good. Sun Tzu, The Art of War, probably. So that's just what I did. I made it so that we can blow up this mini-map, so in the game, the player can see where enemies are in the middle of the game, which comes in especially handy on those longer 2-lane maps, which you can also see when you jump into the game. You can pull it up so you know exactly where the enemies are and have a better idea of the general layout of the map. Between the devlogs, the trailer, and the demo, I'm sure you've seen we finally got the models implemented for all the upgraded towers, and they look absolutely fantastic. They totally got the makeover they needed, and they're no longer just cheap rip-offs of the original tower. And my favorite is this upgraded mana well. I mean, look at it. Wouldn't you just feed the crap out of some arcane ducks out of this thing? Come on now. Our next problem child was the fire breather. He needed a pretty good little makeover. He decided that it'd be totally sweet to shoot his projectile into the ground and not actually attack anyone. So we took to remedying, and as you're seeing on the screen, it turned out pretty great. So when I first started working on the fire breather,
What is that? Ugh, it's hideous!
Oh, that's not very nice. It's just a donkey.
I had him shoot down to the lane to an arbitrary point and then shoot out to his target like that. Now this was causing me all sort of bugs. It wasn't picking up the targets right, and so what wound up would happen is it would shoot down to the floor, lose its target, and explode and blow up. Now I was thinking of some ways to fix this, and now the fire breather shoots straight to its target, and then for any remaining distance it has for its range, it jumps out to the next guy, which works out great. This new method of doing things looks particularly sweet on the upgraded fire breather. So one common piece of feedback we've been getting is that people just don't quite know what a lot of their stuff does. And I'm like, what the heck? People want to actually know what their character does? That's absurd. That's unreasonable. We can't do it.
Why?
I'm just kidding. So we went ahead and implemented a way so that you can see what a lot of the different stuff does. So when you hover over different obstacles on these special nodes, you see, ignore the typo, what they do. So you see that the shady market steals gold, you can't build over the palm trees, deep water can't be built on, and slows players. We also did this for the towers, so you know the Tesla coil bounces when it attacks, you know the generator makes energy, and that the reactor copies the value of the highest generator. Now we're working on getting this feature in all over the place, so you can also scroll over like your players' abilities and know what they do. So that was a pretty good cross-section of all the big things that I put in before the demo. Now I also had 1.5 million tiny little bugs that I squished, but I'll keep you guys awake and go into some more interesting stuff. So like I said earlier on in the video, I started up in my next plane for pilot training, which is the T1. So I had my first couple flights in that, which has been a blast, but it's kept me pretty busy, so I'm going to put in a little bit of work on Timelost Tower Defense. I'm going to make that little intel panel on the character chooser page so that you know what enemies you're going to fight during the next wave. I'll catch up with you guys when I get some good progress done.
Ah, now that's fresh mountain-grown coffee from the hills of Colombia.
One eternity later.
So I took the evening working on this, and it turned out super nice. Let me show you guys. So now on the intel page, you get to see what enemies you're going to fight in the next wave. So you know you're going to be fighting some swordsmen, some scouts, and when you mouse over them, you're able to see what all they do. So this is just kind of a generic unit, but the big one you might want to know about is the anomaly coming up, which splits over time, which would mean you'd want to build your towers early. Now you don't have to go into levels blind.
Let me say it real slow and real loud. I'm blind.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're looking at the game and thinking it's looking pretty sweet, make sure you go wishlist it on Steam because we're getting pretty close to release and you're not going to want to miss it. This game's going to be great. So what are you still doing? Go wishlist it. Do it. And if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. because we post new videos just about every week, and you're not going to want to miss it. And as always, game on.